Hello everyone. In this video, you are watching facts about the pyramids, the materials used in construction, and the construction method used. If you liked the video, do not forget to hit the like button. There are many facts and fictions about the subject of the pyramids, as one of the wonders of the world, how they were built, what materials were used and how long did it take to build, and many questions we will answer in this video, so support us by subscribing and liking for more topics about the history of architecture. The Egyptian pyramids were originally built in order to bury the pharaohs, and there are about 138 pyramids built in Egypt. The largest of the Egyptian pyramids is the Pyramid of Khufu in Giza, which is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The ancient Egyptians relied in building the pyramids on the large manpower in building these huge edifices, and participated in the construction of the Pyramid of Khufu in Giza between 20,000 to 30,000 men for a period of up to 23 years. And contrary to the prevailing opinion, it was not the slaves who participated in the construction of the pyramids, but the men who were freed, according to the research of Donald Redford, professor of ancient Mediterranean. Who participated in the construction of the pyramids received some incentives such as tax exemption in addition to free housing, food and clothing. Limestone was used to build the base of the pyramids, while the best quality limestone was used to complete the outer layers of the pyramids. In addition to limestone, other materials were used to build the pyramids, such as granite and basalt. At the top of the pyramid, which was sometimes plated with gold, pink granite was used in the inner walls of the pyramids, while basalt was used in the floors. The workers used a variety of tools to cut the blocks used in building the pyramids, including hoes, copper chisels, and granite hammers. It comes from far away and was transported from quarries on boats in the Nile. And the stones are pulled from one place to another on a greased pillar. And the evidence for this, according to Redford, comes from the 19th century BC in one of the carvings in an ancient Egyptian cemetery, where 173 men appear in the scene pulling stones on a greased pillar. In order to raise the large stones to their place once in the pyramid, brick stairs were built that were covered with wax chips, which led to hardening of the surface. And then it was possible to pull the stones up until they reached their place and then take those steps again as they rose to the top. The truth is that many people do not know about the Egyptian pyramids except that they were built a very long time ago in ancient Egypt, and that they are large and impressive structures built to bury the pharaohs of Egypt inside them. Indeed, there are interesting and curiosity information and facts we may not know about these amazingly beautiful structures. 1. The 3 pyramids located in Giza. They are the most famous pyramids, and in fact, about 140 pyramids were discovered in ancient Egypt, and it is believed that the oldest Egyptian pyramid is the Pyramid of Djoser, which was built in the cemetery of Saqqara during the 27th century BC. 2. The original height of the Great Pyramid of Khufu is 146.5 meters, 481 feet. While its current height is 138.8 meters, 455 feet. 3. The Great Pyramid in Giza consists of 2,300,000 stone blocks, and the weight of one block ranges between 2 and 30 tons, but there are some blocks that weigh more than 50 tons. 4. Historians disagreed about determining the number of workers who participated in building the pyramids, but the least estimate for the number of these workers is 100,000 people. 5. All Egyptian pyramids were built on the west bank of the Nile, and this was associated with the world of the dead in Egyptian mythology. 6. The 3 pyramids were not built in one way, as the techniques used to build these pyramids differed and developed during their construction period, and the average construction period for one pyramid is 20 years. Knowing that more than one pyramid was being built at the same time. 7. The temperature outside the pyramids remains variable according to the general climate, while the temperature inside the pyramids remains relatively constant, within the limits of 20 degrees Celsius. 8. The Great Pyramid held the title of the longest man-made structure for a period of 3,871 years. until Lincoln Cathedral was built in England in 1311.
The task was large and arduous. However, the effects of the vandalism were evident on the Pyramid of Menkaure, where a vertical crack was observed. Big on the north side. 10. The stones of the pyramids were originally covered with a cover made of polished white limestone, as these stones reflected sunlight, which made the pyramids shine like a jewel. The team of the Exploring the Pyramids and Their Secrets project completed thermal scanning operations using infrared rays of the eastern side of the Great Pyramid, in a live experiment amid extensive local and international media coverage, which resulted in monitoring and identifying a very distinguished form of thermally unconventional shapes that appear on the eastern side of the Great Pyramid. Khufu's pyramid at ground level. This came on the sidelines of the press conference held recently at the Pyramids Plateau to announce the preliminary results related to the first phase of the project, which comes in cooperation between the Egyptian Ministry of Antiquities, the Faculty of Engineering at Cairo University and the Institute for Heritage Preservation and Innovation in Paris. Dr. Mamdouh El-Damity, Minister of Antiquities, explained that by conducting this test, the work team noticed a temperature difference of 0.1 to 0.5 degrees between two adjacent limestones with different characteristics, as the infrared team detected in this area an area consisting of several stone blocks containing there are approximately 6 degrees of voids between adjacent blocks, which raises many questions, which requires further studies to reveal explanations for this phenomenon. El-Damity stressed during the press conference held after the end of the thermal scanning tests, the necessity of adapting different work mechanisms using the latest available scientific technologies, in a way that contributes to advancing the archaeological work in its various fields and revealing more unknown archaeological details and facts, pointing out that all non-traditional forms thermally, the data recorded during the first phase of the project and the data collected will be subject to further analyses with the help of 3D imaging to prepare for the next phase of the project in the following weeks.
Hypotheses. Relevant references. When were the pyramids built? Why were the pyramids built? The materials that were used in building the pyramids. The pyramids are among the most famous historical buildings next to the Colosseum in Rome and the Eiffel Tower in Paris. The pyramids are located in Giza in the Republic of Egypt, and their construction dates back to the period 2550 to 2459 BC. What distinguishes the pyramids most is the many materials that were used in their construction, such as limestone, pink granite, basalt and mud bricks, and these materials were used for the first time on a large scale in construction. The construction of the pyramids took place in several steps, the first of which was the use of suitable materials, and the materials that were used are as follows. Limestone, soft white limestone formed the largest part of the pyramids, as these stones were used to build the heart of the pyramid and as a main material for the outer cover. And it is difficult to extract this stone near the pyramids, so these stones were transported from the areas of the west bank of the Nile River, and some limestone extraction pits were about 48 meters deep. Pink granite was used, with limestone to cover the inner cover and the heart of the pyramids, and its abundance was very little, so it was transferred to the pyramids building areas from the Aswan region and the regions of southern Egypt. Alabaster, basalt
was used to cover the floor of the pyramid, and basalt stone was transported to construction sites via the Nile River, and extracted from underground deposits and pits, especially from caves of the ancient Oligocene era. Mud bricks are the most common and used material in all the buildings of Egypt, and in the pyramids it was used to build walls, directing thermal furnaces on them to last for a long time after they were formed.
The tools that were used in building the pyramids. The Egyptian pyramids are one of the prominent architectural landmarks in the ancient and modern world, and in their construction and transportation of raw materials, many tools were used, most notably the following. Clay molds. Clay molds were shaped to facilitate the transportation of materials across the Nile to construction sites. Axes. Axes were used to break stones and their edges. Iron chisels. Chisels were used to shape stones. Granite hammers were used to break granite stones. Dolerite hammers are hard hammers used to break and shape the hard parts of limestone. Shovels were used for digging and excavating stones, and they were used to shape stones. Ropes were used to lift building materials and raw materials when they were extracted. The precise engineering method in which the pyramids were constructed. The pyramids were built with great precision by ancient Egyptian engineers, and they used all the advanced astronomical, logistical, engineering and mathematical sciences in building these pyramids, and the most prominent engineering methods and methods used by the pharaohs and ancient Egyptians in building the pyramids were as follows. The development of mechanical tools. The most prominent of the developed tools is the dimension measuring lever, which now measures and defines the dimensions of the pyramid more accurately, at angles of exactly 90 degrees. Skillful use of architecture. Examples of the use of architecture: the Pyramid of Saqqara built in 2620 BC, and its platforms were built in a gradual manner as the first use of these graduated shapes called mastabas. Arched ceilings in underground rooms. The sloping exterior to protect these pyramids from attacks. Building the pyramids on solid rock supporting the structure and foundations. Hence we end the video today, and we hope that you have enjoyed with us about the facts of the Egyptian pyramids. Follow us for more about architecture.